How do I encourage my players to stick together? Kill them when they split up. By the way, if you're looking to get back issues of Lair magazine, you can do so on the DM Lair store at the link below. In fact, we currently have available a discounted bundle containing the first 3 issues of Lair magazine. And if you use the discount code BIGBUNDLE, you'll get an additional 10% off. However, this discount will only be valid for the next week. So if you want to get yourself some Lair magazine back issues, now is the time. Last session, a player almost died to a gelatinous cube he fought alone. That's what you gotta do! That's it! Bingo bango! Problem solved. He went off on his own, he ran into a gelatinous cube, he almost died. Do you know what just happened? You just encouraged him to stick with the party because he went off by himself and he got his butt handed to him. Guess what that player's gonna think? Oh crap. Oh crap, it's dangerous when I go off by myself. I should stick with my buddies. And what else is he gonna think? He's gonna be like, well, let's see. My dungeon master probably designed this adventure for a group of 4 people. And so when I, one person, go off by myself and I run into an encounter that's designed for 4 people, I might not do so well. So it sounds like you're already solving the problem. Do not, so what you're doing, what happened there, and my recommendation is when players wander off on their own, when they split up, you don't change the adventure. You don't change the encounters. The world is what the world is. If your players make dumb decisions, if they split up, if they go off on their own, the world does not change its treatment of them. The world doesn't decide that, oh, the poor little guy went off by himself. Oh, my poor throbbing heart. I can't believe, oh, that poor little guy. All right, well, you know what? How about all of you goblins, why don't you guys go sit this one out? There's just one of them all by himself. Oh, he's just he's so squishy. I'm gonna take him myself. You know, we're gonna give him an easier go at it. No! Those goblins team up and beat the living snot out of that guy. He shouldn't go off by himself. You stick together. It's like, you know, you're on a SWAT team, you know, and you're like, you know, you're breaking down doors and you're busting in there. You know, you're probably supposed to stick with your buddies, you know, at least in pairs or something. I don't know. I'm not a SWAT guy. You probably don't want to just split up and go out through the whole building by yourself. It's probably not a good idea. There could be multiple bad guys, you know? So it's like, dude, stick together. This is not brain surgery here. So don't adjust your adventures. Don't adjust your encounters when they split up. Give them the full assault. Give them the game world unchanged, and they will learn that, oh, it's dangerous, stay together. Oh, our dungeon master's not gonna change things because I made a dumb decision. Maybe I should stop making dumb decisions. So yeah, and stick together. So that is how you encourage them to stay together. You give them blunt force trauma, and then they probably will consider staying together more often. And then the rest of the question says, you'd think that would be a warning, but they did it again later. Who cares? Just keep doing the same thing. Dude, it is a fallacy to believe that it is your job to keep them together. You don't have to keep them together. If they want to split up, let them split up. You know, if they split up and they go off on their own, then just keep throwing crap at them. Keep throwing an unaltered game world. They get beat up, they get pounded after encounter after encounter. Eventually they might stop doing it. Eventually they might stay together. Maybe you gotta, you know, so keep doing that. Eventually they might learn. Now, you might get to a point. Now the thing is, of course, is that while you're doing that, you are also having to run multiple games, because the guy who goes off on his own and then the people that stayed together, you're gonna have to run like 2, maybe 3 games simultaneously. And that is not easy for the dungeon master to do. I've done it before. It's not fun. It can be fun, but it's not easy. It is challenging to do that and then keep everything going. and not make it boring for if this guy's doing his thing, these guys are sitting there for 15 minutes doing nothing. That might be boring as crap for them. So it's challenging. It's not the best game experience for the players a lot of times when they split up. So if it keeps happening, and running the game world unaltered isn't changing it, and they keep on splitting up, at that point, yes, then you want to have that discussion and be like, hey guys, check this out. This is a problem. You guys keep splitting up. Now, I don't mind if you split up from time to time, and I don't want to squash your agency and tell you how to play the game. But I will tell you this. I like to run group games, and it is very challenging for me to run the game when you guys split up because I have to run multiple games simultaneously. And not only that, but when I'm running the game for this guy, all of you guys are... That cat's making noise. All of you guys are sitting over here doing nothing while he's playing the game. And then when it's your turn and we're playing with you guys, he's doing nothing. And so it's not a good game experience for me. It's not a good game experience for you guys. So I would like to minimize the amount of splitting up as part of the game because I like to run group games. It doesn't mean all the time. Sometimes, sure, split up when it makes sense or whatever. That's okay. But we need to minimize it. And that will improve the game experience for everybody. So you might get to the point where you have to have that discussion and talk to them and just lay it out and ask them to stay together. And there's nothing wrong with that. And when you get to that point, go ahead and do it. And that's cool. Any DM suggestions for using and removing curses and cursed items? Oh, you guys, check this out. I don't think it was the April PDF. So January, February, March, April, May. The May PDF. So my May patron PDF has in it cursed magic items. I'm pretty sure it's the May one. Yeah, I think it's the May one. I get them all confused. I work on so many patron PDF stuff, I can't keep them straight. But one of my patron PDFs has cursed magic items in it. I think 𝐑𝐄𝐒𝐿, I think you're the one that worked on that, weren't you? Anyway, what I loved about those cursed magic items is that they did not just have the whole thing where you could remove them with the remove curse spell. You actually had to do specific things to be able to get rid of the curse. And I loved that. I've never seen that implemented before in a cursed magic item, to have a mechanic whereby there's some special stuff you have to do to get rid of it. And I thought that was really cool. And so what I would recommend if you're introducing, I would do that. If you're introducing a cursed magic item, shield, weapon, armor, whatever it happens to be, boots, who cares, into your game, have a special way that you design that they need, something special they need to do to get rid of the curse. It's not as easy as just casting remove curse and then it's gone. There's a special thing you have to do and make it a little bit more challenging for them. Because honestly, come on. Once you get to like level 5 or something, removing a cursed magic item with remove curse is trivial. Trivial, not a challenge whatsoever. Yeah, I rarely introduce cursed. So somebody said cursed magic items should have a plot hook or something. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. Yeah, it's like introducing a cursed magic item into your game is really a waste of time if you're not going to do something special with it. Because it's like I have introduced a few cursed items, and let me tell you what happens when you introduce a cursed magic item into your game. Player gets all excited, whee, about the magic item. They're like, I got a trident. I'm gonna put this trident, I'm gonna use it, I'm gonna stab things with it, it's gonna be beautiful. And then they get the trident and they start using it, and then it's like, the dungeon master is like, oh, by the way, this trident is cursed. And you start to grow barnacles over your skin, and your face has barnacles on it, and one of your hands starts turning into a claw because that's a cursed barnacle trident. And then the player's like, this sucks. Wizard, hey, come over here. Can you cast remove curse? All right, go ahead and do it. Cast trident on the ground. Okay, let's keep adventuring now. And then they walk on. How like uninteresting and lame is that? It's like cursed magic item, remove curse, throw it down, or we can go sell it, or we can give it to some NPC and laugh at them or something. But it's just so uninteresting. if you're gonna do a cursed magic item, you gotta do something special with it. Make it more interesting, have a plot hook, have something interesting going on. There's gotta be something more than just giving them a cursed magic item that they're gonna be upset about and then remove curse and then throw away. Because that's just like not super fun for anybody. Doesn't really go anywhere. So yeah, there you go. What would you do if you have half your players wanting to min-max and multi-class, but the other are more casual to keep the game balanced for all? You really can't. You can't, dude. And you don't even need to try. It's not worth trying. It's not worth worrying about. This is like one of those like quintessential questions that like dungeon masters sometimes get us worked up about. We get ourselves worked up over this, and it's not worth getting worked up about. Just, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just who cares? Just play the game. What happens? So you have like 2 players who are min-maxed to the brim. They're really powerful. 2 other players who, let's just call them casual players. You know, it's not meant to be like a derogative term or something, but whatever. They're just casual. They're not so interested. They just want to show up and play the game. And they're not going on Reddit and reading about all these powerful combos. They're not going into Xanathars and pulling out all that horse crap that's way overpowered. You know, they just want to play the game. But other people are like on Reddit and they're watching the YouTube videos where it's like, okay, what are the top 10 feats for my fighter? And what's the overpowered combo that I can use? All right, and now let's craft this together. So some people, yeah, they're creating these like min-maxed monsters, you know, and then you got some people who are just like, I just want to eat some pretzels and drink a little beverages and yeah, play the game. It's not that big of a deal. I just have a straight class wizard. Yeah, that's it. You mean it's not a divination wizard? No. You didn't take the lucky feat? No. It's not a halfling? No. You filthy casual. Some people just don't care. So, but trying to balance the game for a group that's split like that, dude, you might as well beat your head against the wall. What are you gonna do? You're gonna have like, there's like half of the enemies in a fight are very high CR, and the other half are very low CR. And then you deploy the tough ones against the min-maxers, and you deploy like the weak ones against the casuals, and then everybody's happy. No, dude, it's not gonna work like that. It's not gonna work like that. You basically, what you do is based upon like how powerful these dudes are and how weak these dudes are. There's a middle ground there. If you have a group, let's say they're level 5s, and you know that 2 of them are pretty weak, and they're not that strong, what I would do is when you're doing your CR calculations, I would consider them maybe a level lower. Consider them level 4 instead of 5, because you know they're just not super overpowered. Or you might consider the casuals level 5, and then the ones that are super min-maxed, you might consider them level 6. And then that will determine your adjusted experience point like levels for when you're calculating your challenge ratings. And then you can craft encounters that will be balanced for that group, and you're considering some of them as a higher level, and then you just balance your encounters that way. That's really the best you can do. And the other reason that it is futile, in my opinion, to try to adjust too much for super min-maxers and filthy casuals. Who cares? I'm probably close to a filthy casual myself when I play. I don't go onto Reddit and do all this min-maxing. I min-max a little bit, you know, using my brain, but I don't go the whole depth of researching stuff. So the other reason that it is a waste of time, it is futile to try to balance things, is that the challenge rating system is broken anyway. It's all borked and messed up anyway. So you're wasting, you're like worrying and fretting and wringing your hands and ripping your hair out for what? It's the balance in 5th edition is destroyed anyway. It doesn't matter. The challenge rating system, the math, it's all horse crap. Like, you can get stuff in the range, the level area of it, but it's horse crap. Let me give you an example. I recently deployed against my ancient dragon group a black dragon that I souped up. This black dragon, Goliath cleric, is here. He can tell you. I souped this black dragon up. It could cast spells. It was basically an archmage with spellcasting abilities. It could cast as a legendary action 3rd level spells and below 3 times a round if it wanted to. It had breath weapons, all that kind of stuff. It had legendary. This thing was souped up. It was probably, I took an adult black dragon and I turned it at least into an ancient black dragon in difficulty through spellcasting abilities mostly and counterspelling. And then I put it with Abishai. I had 2 black Abishai buddies with it. Crazy black dragon, 2 black Abishai. Dude, this probably, if I had calculated out the challenge rating for that encounter, I bet you it would have probably been a challenging encounter for like level 15s or maybe higher. And my group was like, what are they, level 10 or something? I think they were like level 10. And okay, yes, one of them died, but they survived. So a group of level 8s or 10s, I forget what it was, Goliath Cleric can confirm. A group of level 8s or 10s survived, except for one, against an encounter that was easily a challenge, according to the math, for like level 15 adventurers. And they survived. And that's just an example of how the challenge rating system is just, it's worthless, you know? So don't get too worked up and fret about if you have some players who are min-maxers, other players who are casuals. It's not that big of a deal. Just do your best, relax, and have fun, you know? And if they die, they die.